how do you actually sell with social media? Is to help people solve their problems socially. By that, what do I mean? I simply mean by helping them solve their problems together. When consumers buy, we're in consumer society, everybody wants more for less. So people are always after a deal, they're always after getting better value, more product for less money. If you can allow consumers to get together, or clients to get together using social media in order to solve that key value problem that drives consumer society, then you will shift you will shift stock. And it's part of a bigger picture of what psychologists call social intelligence, and pardon the psychobabble, but social intelligence, all that means is helping people learn from each other's experiences and profit from social profit from social situations where you can, for example, by coming together, buying in bulk. But it also means your social intelligence. It means Amazon-style reviews. You don't have to buy a sucky product to realize it's sucky. You can actually go onto a store and see, you can go online and see reviews from it. Using user reviews that consumers have adopted en masse, whether it be through their mobile phones or online, has been hugely effective, hugely popular, because it helps people shop smarter. If you're a retailer or a brand, your goal in social media and social commerce, I believe, should be helping you to help your customers shop smarter, helping them shop with their social intelligence. Now let's move on to number 2, the second secret. As well as helping people solve problems socially, i.e. together, come together to get better value, to get better insight, better information together, you can also help. Social commerce also seems to work when it solves a social problem. And psychologists talk of 2 social problems, and the first of which is social status. We're hierarchical creatures. There are, alpha people, or beta people, and even omega people. We live in social hierarchies, and we're concerned not but simply by when we buy stuff by what we're actually buying, the functional utility. We buy stuff increasingly and explicitly to actually show others our ranking in our social environment. It's about social status. So where we've looked at in social commerce today, where it seems to work, social commerce, is when you sell status symbols, so to help people manage their social status, so they appear smarter, they appear higher up in their social ranking. So one example of this is doing it really well is Burberry brand. I mean, they solve the problem of social status by making their fans look good, by giving them early access and bragging rights to new products. They become brand insiders by selling on through a pop-up store in Facebook. They actually not only give their fans something to talk about, to activate word of mouth and drive that extra value that Apple ekes out so well, the referral value and customer lifetime value. But they also provide them with social status, so the bragging rights that gives them an extra incentive to go out and talk about things. So actually, if you're thinking about selling with social media, don't just think about the product and the utility it has in itself. Ask yourself, well, am I selling anything that could offer social status, or could I sell it in a way that gives people using the site social status? And the key way of doing it, the simplest way of doing that, is to offer them early access to new products that are not yet available to anybody anywhere else. So social media exclusives that give people social status is the second secret to unlocking sales with social media. Now the third secret is about helping people, using social media to help people solve another core social problem. Psychologists will talk endlessly about how a lot of what we do has very little to do with the actual functional utility, but things have social utility, and one of them is about managing our social status. But another thing, when we buy stuff, we often do it for social bonding, solving the problem of social bonding, how to connect with people, how to not to stand out as you do with social status, but it's how to fit in, how to bond with people. So when Starbucks actually started running its online CRM program within Facebook, it set up quite a natty little feature that allowed people to gift Starbucks to each other via Facebook. And in doing so, it helped people bond with each other. It reinforced social bonding. More generally, what seems to work well in social commerce is when you use gifting to help people connect with each other and reinforce social bonds, either by coming together, as in the Mercedes example, and working together to achieve a goal, or by creating a social bond through gifting. One lovely example in Copenhagen, in Denmark, over here in Europe, is something called the Generous Store, which is a real-life pop-up store by a chocolate brand called Anton Berg. And they created in the center of Copenhagen, they opened a small pop-up temporary store where you could buy their lovely chocolate, but you didn't have to pay. The chocolate was free, but what you had to do is to promise on Facebook to do your loved one a favor, whether it be don't comment on your girlfriend's driving for a week, whether it be bring your boyfriend breakfast in bed, or whether it be any number of things. And it was hugely successful. It had lines of people out in the store, and people went online and they went into the store, logged into Facebook, and made their promise public, and then went away with the chocolate. And it was a marketing campaign, but using social commerce where people were paying with promises, but with a view to creating social bonds between people. I think one of the lessons that we'll wrap up in when Paul's shared his 3 top insights is that social commerce is about people first commerce. It's about people connecting with people, and so the third secret to unlocking sales with social media is to solve people's problems of social bonding. We all live in fear of being alone and dying alone. Social media is this great tool for that can help people connect with each other. If you can do that in a commercial context, help people bonding, whether it be through gifting or working together, you will shift stock with social media. So just to finish my section before handing over to Paul, I think my three top secrets, if you like, for unlocking sales with social media come down to one thing. It's about offering social utility, either helping people solve their problems socially by allowing them to come together and use their collective consumer clout or collective customer clout to get a better deal or to get more information, helping people connect and collaborate in a commercial context. Or it's about helping people solve social problems. And the core 2 social problems are those of social status and social bonding. So if you're thinking about shifting stock with social media, selling with social media, using social commerce, think in terms of social utility, using social media to help people solve people's problems socially and solve social problems, whether it be helping them use their social intelligence by using reviews, information, collecting together, shopping smartly together, whether by offering them social status or whether by offering them opportunities for social bonding. So if I had to wrap my 3 up in one big secret, the big secret to selling with social media is offer a social shopping service that has a genuine social utility. And with that, I wanted to hand over to Paul, who will run through his top 3 secrets for selling with social media. Paul, over to you.
All right. Thank you, sir. And hello again, everyone. I do want to just interject very quickly that if you have a question or comment you wish to make, there are 2 ways through which you can do that. One is using the Q&A panel, certainly, here embedded into WebEx. But the other and more social way is to use Twitter, and we encourage you to do that. And I want to thank Nolly, Tom, and Gretchen for generating some comments. But if you do want to use Twitter, be sure and use the hashtag AwarenessInc, AwarenessInc, and we'll entertain your questions in both places, okay? Now, having said that, let me share my 3 secrets for social commerce success. And the secret I want to share, first of all, is that really social commerce is not just about buying, but it's about discovery. I favor the quote by Christian Taylor. Christian is the founder and former CEO of the social commerce platform Pavement, and he said it best, I think. In a word, social commerce is about discovery. One of the reasons shops exist is to encourage shoppers to discover new things. So sometimes we know exactly what we want, where to get it, but I think most often we browse without knowing exactly what we're after. And shopping, therefore, is as much about product discovery as it is about buying. So the opportunity for social commerce is to assist not just the buying aspect of social media, but also the discovery component as well. So how can social media be deployed to assist product discovery? Well, I think the simple answer is through social shopping sites. Say that 3 times real fast. Social shopping sites that are designed for browsing and sharing as much as they are for searching and transacting. So if you take a look at sites like Supply, Fancy, or Polyvore, you'll see how they differ from Amazon-style marketplaces. They're designed for product discovery and the act of sharing discovered products. So as a retailer or a merchant, you can post your products on these sites and allow new customers to discover what you sell. But I think social product discovery works because we pay attention to our network of friends and associates, otherwise known as our social graph. But it also works. Social media also drives product discovery, not only through our individual social graphs, but also through what has come to be known as our interest graph. So, again, to quote Christian Taylor, he said this: social commerce isn't me asking my mom, but finding others who share similar interests, which leads to discovery. So here's a good example. Walmart's Facebook gift recommendation app called ShoppyCat. ShoppyCat looks at your Facebook friends and analyzes their activity on the social network, including things like likes, shares, and posts, and then it determines what types of gifts they would most likely want based on those interests. The app then searches through a large product database to find what it surfaces as the right gift. Now, while it may not be my own interest I'm focused on, if I'm out to buy a gift for a friend, this app provides the social utility that Paul just talked about in that it solves the problem of what gift to buy. So, social discovery is about enhancing the retail experience for shoppers, about helping them and their friends discover great new products. So, here's a question that you should consider. Instead of asking, how can I sell my product to people, ask instead, how can you help people discover your product? So one secret to turning social media into social sales is to drive discovery. So another secret number 5, for successful selling via social commerce is lead with purpose, not a pitch. In other words, be purpose-driven. That is to say, rather than coming out of the gate with a sales message, determine a genuine, authentic purpose that is consistent with your brand, that contributes to the greater good, and that promotes the welfare of others. It's a clearly stated, compelling, and unique value proposition that will set your brand apart from everyone else, and everything you do in terms of your customer engagement stems from it. Here's a great example. That's exactly what Nike did with Nike Plus, Nike Training Club, and the Nike Fuel Band. All are designed to help users stay physically fit by assisting them with workout routines, recommending exercises, tracking workout activity, and such. Now, certainly Nike's ultimate goal is to sell more gear, right? But Nike realized that in order to do that, it should first, and I'm going to quote Guy Kawasaki from his book, Art of the Start, it should first make meaning, quote unquote. Now, with that understanding, the brand crafted this purpose statement. You can see it here. We exist to help everyone to achieve their athletic potential. Now, this works for Nike because it positions the company as its customers' workout partner, so to speak. And to facilitate ease of use, the brand created mobile apps that customers can download to their mobile phones and take with them during their workouts. This purpose-driven approach also works for Nike because it's consistent with the brand itself. Nike is all about athleticism, after all, and it keeps the brand in front of customers at the very time when they need it most, which is during their workouts. Well, if being purpose-driven has a commercial application, there may be no better way to foster that than through social media. In his hierarchy of needs theory, psychologist Abraham Maslow states that beyond the basic physiological and safety needs come needs for love and belonging, friendship, family, sexual intimacy. And then beyond that, there are needs for self-esteem, which come as we receive the respect of others. I put forth the proposition, that is to say, that social media has become a conduit through which such needs can be met, at least to some extent. And I believe that brands that understand that can create applications that foster such need-meeting activity. Again, it goes back to exactly what Paul was talking about when he talked about creating social utility. So that's why brands like Target, for example, created the social gifting app Give with Friends, which allows people to come together to purchase Target gift certificates from others, such as maybe end of the school year gifts for the children's teacher or a gift for a coworker on his or her birthday, for example. It's also the reason Delta Airlines created It's Away We Go Facebook app that enables people to plan, share, and book travel together. In both cases, commerce transactions are, of course, the ultimate underlying aim, but a view towards serving others, that is to say, meeting needs and solving problems, was the idea that guided each application's development. Now, that's 2 down. Well, before I get on to the third one, let me just say this. What does all this mean for social commerce? Simply that if you want to shift stock with social media, you start with a purpose that puts the needs and interests of your customers first. Your product, of course, should be featured. Your brand should be featured. But I believe it's in a support role, not the leading role. Now, to get to my last of the 3 secrets for selling via social media, is to provide a social marketplace where buyers and sellers can come together to exchange goods and services. Now, in the real world, probably the most obvious translation of this concept is shopping malls. A more grassroots version might be flea markets or swap meets or street fairs, even garage sales, things of that nature. Such marketplaces exist online as well, however, and with a greater degree of sophistication. I want to give you a couple of examples of what I'm talking about. DHgate.com, which is both a B2B and B2C e-commerce marketplace, provides an online trade platform where Chinese sellers can connect to buyers from around the globe, literally all over the globe, 230 countries in all. The site represents more than 100,000 Chinese sellers, offering products in hundreds of categories ranging from everything from agricultural supplies to wedding party favors. The site works because it eases the pain of product discovery, it provides an experienced customer support team, and it's a secure environment in which to transact business. It shrinks an otherwise unwieldy global marketplace into one that's manageable, trusted, and safe. Now, another example is 99 Designs. Now, this is a marketplace that matches those in need of a logo and web design with freelance designers. The site works because designers bid on projects and even create concepts based on project requirements submitted by the buyer. So presented with a number of designs, the buyer then selects the winning bid. 99 Designs really is a win-win for both the buyer and the seller. It gives the buyer many affordable options from which to choose, and it supplies the designer with many projects upon which to bid. Now, take that into the social spectrum. I think that social media is a gold mine for this marketplace mentality because through social media, the power of one's social networks can be harnessed for both product discovery and purchase, all within the confines of community-based interactions. Social marketplaces foster interaction between merchants and their customers. They facilitate customer reviews, feedback ratings, and shopping experiences. And consumers can tell the world whether they like a merchant or a product, for example. And merchants can share details of themselves, such as their names, their faces, outside interests, and provide easy methods for consumers to communicate directly with them. Now, I want to give you some examples of kind of this social aspect. Many companies have tapped into this secret and created such marketplaces, but I think one, and probably this would be, Paul, I'm sure would agree, this is the classic example maybe. It's the T-shirt maker Threadless.com. As a fashion brand operating in a highly competitive and largely commoditized T-shirt market, Threadless has an enviable reputation. It sells out of every line that it produces. However, rather than selling its own T-shirt designs, Threadless is a curated social marketplace that connects T-shirt designers with their customers through talent contests. Let me explain. The mechanism is very simple, very elegant. The 600,000+ regular site visitors to Threadless are always presented with one of 3 options. Either you can become a contestant on the site's latest T-shirt design and submit a design, you can become a member of the contest jury and vote on a design, or you can be a customer and buy one of the previous winning designs. So every few days, Threadless takes the most popular of the newly submitted designs, puts them into production, and sells them on the site. Winning contestants receive a monetary prize, $2,500, something like that, in return for commercial rights, and they get their name put on the T-shirt labels. Winning designs always sell out. Another example of this marketplace concept is Etsy. In fact, Etsy may be the mother of the social commerce marketplace movement. In fact, the site is on a mission to change the way the global economy works by providing very small businesses with the ability to sell handmade and vintage products to consumers in a bizarre-style fashion. From a commerce perspective, Etsy makes it possible for sellers to move from hobbyist status to even full-fledged, full-time businesses. And for buyers interested in handcrafted or vintage items, it makes the job of product discovery much simpler. But socially, the site functions as an online community where buyers and sellers can come together to discuss the products that they love. I want to give you one other example. This happens to be my favorite example. It's a travel site called Airbnb. In fact, my wife and I recently took a trip to California using Airbnb to find and discover some affordable lodging. And in fact, just from a personal perspective, the image that you're seeing in the upper left-hand corner is the lodging that we use. This is overlooking Muir Beach in the Bay Area, so we were very happy with our lodging there. But we found it through Airbnb. But simply, Airbnb is a user-review powered peer-to-peer marketplace that allows people to share their homes with travelers around the globe. The payoff for hosts is that it provides an added source of income, allowing them perhaps to monetize spaces they may not otherwise use. And for renters like my wife and I, the many customer ratings, reviews, and testimonials build trust, and the fact that they can find lodging at a price at all kinds of price points certainly doesn't hurt either. And in our own situation with Airbnb, we will be able to speak directly with the host and gain more information. But considering all three of these examples, the secret to unlocking social sales is to put buyers and sellers together in an online community where they have the freedom to interact on a personal level that fosters transparency and trust, and through which they can leverage their social graph and the influence of friends to make smarter buying decisions. So, in conclusion, my three secrets are: drive discovery, be purpose-driven, and provide social marketplaces for buyers and sellers to